Hi everyone, this is Rashmi Villas from Department of Commerce, ST College, Ambala, Kent, and today we will be discussing about data analysis and presentation. It is a very important step to be completed if you are doing any research work, any research paper, PhD, MPhil, any research area. So before discussing anything, let's discuss the brief meaning of data analysis. It is the process of ordering, categorizing, manipulating, and summarizing the data to obtain the answers to the research questions. It is usually the first step taken towards the data interpretation. And it is very evident that if you want to interpret your correct data, the correct and proper analysis of data is very important step. Hence, the researchers have put a special importance into the step of data analysis and presentation, and we'll discuss everything in detail in this presentation. In any kind of research, data has to go through three stages. The first stage is presentation. Presentation is the process of organizing the data into logical, sequential, and meaningful categories, and then classifying them to make amendation according to the study and for further interpretation. The second stage is analysis. Analysis is the process of breaking up the whole study into the constituent parts of categories according to the specific questions under the statement of problem of your research. The analysis part have been very well explained by my co-teachers when they explained you all the parametric test, F-test, T-test, large sample test, small test. Every test has been very well explained in the previous classes. The last stage is interpretation. Interpretation is the most difficult stage to write. Why? Because it is the least structured. There is no specific format as how to write your interpretation. So this stage demands perspectiveness and creativity from the researcher. And interpretation is just the answer to all the questions which have been asked into the research report. So let's start with the first topic of my presentation, that is presentation of data. Data can be presented into three types, that is text, graphs or table. As text, the data is presented in proper format in categories so that it can be identified into the most effective way. Text format is widely found in books, reports, research papers and in articles very well. Then second type is in tabular form. Tabular form is generally used to differentiate, categorize, relate the different data set. It can be simple table of pros and cons. It can be a table with corresponding values such as the GDP, bank statement, monthly expenditure, anything like that. And the third type is graphical form. Data can be presented in a simpler and even easier form by the means of using graphs. The input for such graphical data can be another type of data itself like text or table. For example, there are many type of graphs that are used like pie chart, bar graph, any kind of different type of images graphs. The most common graph which is used nowadays is the data of COVID, which is shown on the website of Government of India. They show the linear type of scatter diagram depicting the number of deaths, increase or decreasing in the cases, active cases, recovered cases. So data can be presented in all these forms. Text, that is simple, proper formatted, categorized data. Table, which uses a proper format, categories to relate different data set. And third is graphs. Graphs are the representation of the data which is even mentioned in text or a table. So presentation of data can be done in three types. Number one, text, then table, and then graphs. See, now the question arises that how should I present my data in my particular research report or my PhD or any kind of my research article I am writing, because there are ample amount of graphs or text or table format which is there in various softwares. So the main question is how to choose or which format to choose to present my data effectively or efficiently. So now we'll discuss each form of graphs or presentation type of data. Then we'll discuss when and how it is used, or what is the best situation in which that particular type of graphical representation is used. So that will make you very clear that if my data is of ABC type, then I can use bar graph. If my data is of XYZ type, then I could use pie charts. So let's discuss each type of graphical representation in detail and where it is used and how I can present my data effectively. So first type of graphical representation is bar graphs. These are the graphs that interpret the relationship between two or more variables using the rectangular bars. These rectangular bars can be drawn either vertically or horizontally, but mostly people use vertical representation. These graphs contain two axes, as you can see in the picture as well, x axis and y axis. X is the horizontal one and y is the vertical one. And the horizontal, that is the x axis, represent the independent variable and y represent the dependent variable. Bar graph is the most widely used chart, and where it is used to show the growth trends in any kind of data. It has various types which can be shown or depicted, like stacked or simple or continuous. Any type of bar graph you can use, but where they are used to show the growth trend. Next graph comes pie chart. Pie chart is a circular graph used to represent the percentage of occurrence of variable using sectors. That is, it works best when you represent the share of different components from a total 100%. For example, as you have seen in the picture, I have shown the data of 50 students who like to play football, cricket, basketball or badminton. Out of 50 students, how many students like to play cricket? That is the section we have divided. Out of the total 100%, how many sectors are divided, how many of the data we have collected of different components represent which share. Like we have football, one share, badminton, other, basketball, and then cricket. Cricket has the maximum share of the total 100% of the data. So pie chart is used when we have to show the share of all the components from a total of 100%. Okay, the next type is line graph. Line charts are the type of graph that display information as a series of points, usually connected by a straight line. These work well in explanation of any growth of multiple areas at the same time. Now the question arises how it is different from bar graph. See, bar graphs show the trend over a longer duration of time period, as we have seen in the example I have shown you of the profit of particular year. We have compared the profit of 2017, 18 and 19. But the line graphs have the advantage that we see the smaller changes for a small duration of time using the line graph. For example, if you want to show the profit trend of individual department over a period of time, then we can use one single line for each department, and the progression from left to right would show the profit changes in a successive quarter. But in bar graph, we can see the changes for a whole duration of time, that is for a total month or total year or total quarter. But in line graph, you can see the changes on the daily basis as well. So if we want to see the changes for a smaller duration, we use the line graph, and for a larger period of time, we use bar graph. Next method of data representation is table. Table is the most commonly used form of visualization of data. It is usually used to differentiate, categorize, and relate different data set into rows and columns. It is the, I think, first step to present any data, that is table. We show all our data into various columns and rows, and then we make the graphical representation. So the first and the foremost type of data presentation is tabular form. And the last type is combo chart. As the name suggests, it is a combination of using more than one chart in a single figure. As shown in the example, I have used bar graph and line chart. It is used to save space and time, and it is the most effective way to present your data or to make necessary interpretation than using two different charts. We can see the data, we can see the relationship, we can make effective interpretation if we use the combo chart. Now, after the presentation and analysis of your data comes the last stage, that is the interpretation. This section answers the question, so what? In relation to the results of the study. What do the results of your study mean? The part perhaps is the most critical aspect of research report, as it is the most difficult to write because it is the least structured. After the presentation of the data comes the third stage, analysis, we have discussed in all the previous lectures. Then comes the stage of interpretation. Interpretation is the stage which answers the question, so what? In relation to the results of the study. Like, what do the results of the study mean? This is perhaps the most critical aspect of the research report. Why? Because it is the least structured. This section demands perspectiveness and creativity from the point of view of researcher. So to have a good interpretation section, we must tie up the results of the study in both theory and application point of view by pulling together three aspects. First one is conceptual framework, like what is the objective of your study, why you are doing it, what is your aim, what kind of test are you going to apply, what are the objectives, what are the area you want to cover in your whole research. You must have a theoretical conceptual framework in your mind as well as in your study. Then comes the literature review. Literature review is the detail of all the past research done in relation to or related with your topic. That is the research area which you are covering up. How much of the research has already been conducted in that particular area, and what are the researchers saying about it? Yeah, what are the gaps which are there in the previous research, and what kind of gaps are you trying to filling up? That comes in your conceptual framework. And then literature review is the past research done on your particular research area. Then comes the study's potential significance for application, like how your study can potentially be used for further research, for further analysis, for any improvement or significant growth, or how it can be used in the area of research or by another person or another researcher, like how it will contribute to the future research perspective. And in the interpretation stage, one must justify the result which we have drawn from the data which we have collected. And for the justification of result, we must go through 3 points. The first one is to conclude. This is the technique which enables the reader to get the total picture of the findings in summarized form and helps to orient the reader to the discussion that follows for the further research. So conclusion in your study is must. Then comes interpretation. Questions on the meaning, findings, methodology, the unexpected results, and the limitations or the shortcomings of the study should be answered and properly interpreted in your theory. Then comes the integration part. This is the attempt to put all the pieces together, because many a time the results of the study may not seem to hang together. So in the discussion, we must attempt to bring the findings together with the exact or extracted meaning and the principles. So one must try to integrate the findings with your principle, integrate a theory out of your findings, and then use these findings to formulate an original theory. So to justify the result which you have drawn from your analysis point of view, you must summarize, interpret any question or shortcomings, or integrate all your findings into a proper theory. So I know this is the most technical part to do, that is the interpretation and the presentation of the data. But once we try to understand how we can use our data, how well we can present the data, or how well we can use our mind, our theories, the previous research, then we can have a foolproof great research in our hands. But we must put some of the points in our mind, that is, we must present only the relevant data. All the irrelevant data must be ignored. And in reporting the data, we must choose the medium that will present our data effectively. Presenting the tables that can be presented in a few statements as well will make an effective presentation, and the textual presentation should be expanded using charts rather than duplicating them again and again. Only the objective data embodied in the tables are made, which are based on the discussions, and the findings should be compared with that of the previous studies to make a proper and justified interpretation of your study. I hope the topic of presentation and interpretation is clear to you all. Even if you have any doubt, you can ask me freely. Just keep yourself updated. The more you will research about it, the more you will try to inculcate it practically, the more you will understand it well. So only the theory point of view is not that important. Using all these tables, all these formulas, all this interpretation technique practically will make you realize and understand this topic more. So thank you everybody. Stay safe.